let's move on to the DNC unity reform. Now, we know ever since the 2016 election, there has been much talk about uniting the Democratic Party. Part of the need to unite the Democratic Party was the large numbers of Dem exits that occurred after the DNC kneecapped Bernie Sanders, shut down polling stations, shrunk the number of debates. After even before the actual election day, okay, these are precipitate. These are things that were done that no one is even doubting. No one can even have an argument for this being like conspiracy theory, for this being some type of hit job by independent media who want to get clicks. But this is what actual voters feel. People like myself and others who comment on the DNC's lack of transparency, lack of unbiased treatment of both candidates, and actually all candidates who ran. Martin O'Malley, Lincoln Chafee, Jim Webb, they all deserved an opportunity to run for a position within the Democrats. They ran as Democrats. They deserved a level playing field. So the Unity Commission is an attempt to shore up the fracture that was created by the actions of the DNC. It's not something made up by people like me who are disgruntled. It's something that is felt in the hearts because these people have went and checked. Like I Dem exited, I had to do an action to remove myself from that party and become an independent voter, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I did. Because I don't think that I will not reward cheating. I don't reward cheating. All right, so anyway. With the Democratic Party's Unity Reform Commission now history, major political forces are entering a new stage of contention over the future of the party. 7 months after the commission's first meeting and 9 months after Hillary Clinton's backer Tom Perez won a close election over Bernie Sanders supporter Keith Ellison to become chair of the Democratic National Committee, the battle lines are coming into focus for next year. Okay, so the commission's final meeting, it ended on Saturday. After a few steps forward, and listen, these are some of the things that were agreed to be considered because they still have to go to the ethics panel. So these changes that I'm going to talk about, folks, they're not in stone, okay? It still has to go before the Rules and Bylaws Committee, okay? Due to the grassroots strength of progressives, the recommendations from the commission will go to the Rules and Bylaws Committee, which was one of the DNC's decision-making bodies that Perez subjected to a purge 2 months ago. So while people are jumping up and down about, we're making headway with the Democratic Party, we're going to change them, we're going to force them to become a better party, and look, they came to the table and we're talking about it. Well, for any of those changes to actually take place, the people that get to decide what changes take place are all Hillary Clinton DNC people that have a vested interest in maintaining the status quo. That's who these people are. Tom Perez purged the progressive wing of the Bylaws Committee. That's what he did. It's not me saying it, it's reality. It's not an opinion, it's what he did. Okay? So, overall, the commission approved some recommendations that were partial victories for progressives. Among the most notable, it called for reducing the number of notorious undemocratic superdelegates to the National Convention from 712 to about 300. And that's good. Good. Give it. It's good. I would like to make note that the 300 number should be 0. That would be really good. I mean, that's how many the Republicans have. You know, when people make the argument that the Democratic Party is an undemocratic party, they're not just pulling that out of their butts. To say that the Democratic Party is undemocratic is not gaslighting. Superdelegates are very powerful within the primary system of the DNC. It does not exist on the right or within the Republican Party. It's an undemocratic process, a practice. The whole purpose of superdelegates is to take power away from grassroots activists, to make sure that an upsurgent, an insurgent candidate that the people want doesn't actually become a nominee. So that is an undemocratic process altogether itself. It's like, I don't even know how you make the claim that it's not. But anyway, let me keep going, because I could rant on this. I could keep ranting on it. But you want to preserve time, right? Now listen, they also agreed to somewhat improve transparency for the often dubious DNC contracts and high-paid consultants and vendors, while defeating sensible amendments by Commission member Nomiki Kant, who spoke about notable clarity about the need to clamp down on financial conflicts of interest among DNC decision makers. So yeah, we want you to open up your books. I agree with Nomiki there. You should be transparent about where your money comes from. I say every show, and let me say it again, the Tim Black Show is not funded by the GOP. It's not funded by the DNC. It's not funded by RT or even TYT. It's funded by viewers like you. If you want something to be independent, you have to fund it. Sorry, that's just how it works. We have to do it. Not just you, but lots of yous. Lots of me's, lots of us. That's what we have to do. So that's important, and it's important for us to know where the money comes from because, Lord behold, money matters in politics. Money matters in programming. Money matters. So anyway, let me continue. The 8 Sanders appointees, Kant, Zogby, Larry Cohen, Lucy Flores, Jane Cleave, Gus Newport, Nina Turner, and Jeff Weaver, put up a good fight as members of the Unity Reform Commission. They were outnumbered and on key issues were often outvoted by the 13 who'd been selected by Clinton or Perez. Next year, the odds to overcome will be much worse. With the Purge Rules and Bylaws Committee now overwhelmingly stacked against progressives, only massive pressure from the grassroots will be able to sustain momentum toward a Democratic Party or a truly Democratic Party. Meanwhile, corporate forces will do all they can to prevent the Democratic Party from living up to its name. Rewind yourselves to the billionaire jackass, the guy with no neck. I know I don't have too long a neck, but this guy had no neck. It's chin, chest. He was on an MSNBC show, and he said, it could have been CNN, he said, if the Democratic Party chastises rich people again, I'm pulling support. I'm pulling my support, and all my billionaire friends are going to do the same thing. That is the level of control they have, and it was never before made so plain. Corporate interests in the Democratic Party run that party. These are just facts. You can. He went on national TV and he said what has never been said before, which is the reality of what runs the DNC. So anyway, we'll see what happens. We'll see what actually comes to fruition. We'll see. But at the end of the day, I believe, unless you have a truly democratic process, a truly Democratic Party that takes into account the grassroots, the momentum of the grassroots, the will of the grassroots, which are just people. Grassroots equal people. People who care enough to get off their butts and do stuff. That's the most important element of any party, any organization, any cause, anything. All right, so if those people aren't happy, you don't have a party unless those people are happy. What you have is a circle jerk of corporate interest trying to get their will done. So that's what I think. All right.